everybody? How's everybody doing today? Hope you're all having a good weekend so far. And hello, Joe Road. And you know what's kind of funny? When I type in Joe Road, your name turned into this. I don't know. I don't know if it auto-corrected it. It turned into hey year old. So I don't know. That's interesting. I've never seen that before. It like changed your text. I'm wondering if it's because I put an exclamation mark, so it was like changed it. And then also hello, potato person. Hello, it's NJ Draws. My cat is here to distract me from the stream. That's fun. Animals are always fun. I think my dog literally just crawled in here. He likes to kind of just chill by the desk when I'm drawing. Well, that's because there's not really any space around me for him to huddle around, so he likes to just kind of sit by the door facing outside. And it is raining out here. You know, we just had all the rain not too long ago. It rained like crazy. I was in Montreal not too long ago. I think I mentioned this actually on Monday's stream. I was saying how I was in Montreal, but yeah, there was this one day where it just like it rained like out of nowhere. Not out of nowhere, like we could see the clouds coming in, but then when it rained, it like it dropped everything all at once. It was crazy. Yeah, it's art time. Rain is awesome. Please share some rain. Rain is good. It's good to get the plants watered every now and then. Also, I don't know if anybody was here when I mentioned I have like a bonsai. Faye got me a bonsai for my birthday, so it's still kind of going pretty good so far. So I guess a little update on my bonsai journey is I moved it from inside my house to outside of my house, and I feel like it's kind of doing pretty well. It's sprouting. It's like kind of it's sprouting more stems, I guess, and the leaves are being pretty healthy. All the bugs are gone. I don't know where they went. Maybe because it's outside now, the heat like kills all the bugs. I don't know, but there's no more flies, so that's interesting. Have I missed anything? No, not yet. We're just kind of having a little opening stream chat here, so we're just kind of chilling, kind of easing in. But we'll start shortly. Have you? You still sound stuffed a bit. Yeah, I think so. Like, I'm not like sick anymore, but there's still some like residual. What is it? Just my nose, still a little clogged, not clogged, but you know, has a little bit of stuff in there, you know. Do you only water your bonsai when it rains? No, I don't. I water it every day. At nighttime, since it's been really hot lately, and I don't wake up early enough, I don't water it in the morning, but I'll water it like quite a bit at night. So, because I heard bonsais need like water it generously is what they say. There's like don't water it like crazy, but water it generously and make sure the soil stays damp. But I don't know, so far what I've experienced is that you don't have to, because I've been leaving it outside, it's been kind of doing okay. It's not drying up. The leaves are looking really healthy. Actually, it's the most healthiest looking since I've brought it outside. So I don't know what's up with that, because technically bonsais are like an indoor tree, but it's the healthiest outside. Who would have known a tree would prefer the sound of nature? So yeah, I was so proud. I am pretty proud of it. Like when I went on my trip and then I came back, I told my mom, I was like, can you please continue watering my bonsai? And then when I came back home, I was like, whoa, did it like sprout more? Like it grew, all the buds kind of turned into like proper leaves now. So yeah, it's nice. Maybe I'll take a picture of my bonsai and show it to you guys, but I'll share it on Discord. Do you know the game No, I Am Not Human? No, I do not. I cannot say that I have heard of that game. I hope it's a fun game. Sounds kind of fun. Can't believe you're a whole Planned Parent. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty chill. It's nice to kind of keep it in check. Keep like my bonsai alive. I have an adversarial relationship with computers, Josh. Spell check thinks I can't spell my own name. You know, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, I'm like wondering if YouTube chat auto-corrected your name when I typed it in. It's kind of strange. Because if I hover over that message, it changes it back to how I originally spelled your name, but then if I don't hover over it, it does this like kanji, and then it does like "Hey year old." I'm like assuming that means it's spell checked your name. So yeah. Oh, and hello, Zipporah. Zipporah is here, everybody. Say hello to Zipporah. Our lovely mod is here to keep an eye on you guys. The game is weird but fun. Oh, okay. I have not had enough time to play games, but I was actually thinking today, I was like, you know what? If I'm not too tired and I'm feeling up to it, I think I'll finally listen to my Sinners vinyl. I have not touched my turntable in a really long time, and I've been like kind of waiting for the moment where I feel like I'm in the mood to listen to some music at night. So maybe tonight's the night. Tonight's the night where I'll finally listen to my Sinners soundtrack, because I bought it a long time ago. I got the score for the movie on vinyl, and I haven't listened to it at all yet, and it's kind of in my room, just kind of on display. But I'm like, maybe tonight's the night. I wish I was brave enough to play I'm Not Human. Is it a scary game? Oh, okay. I have no idea what kind of game it is, but what is your favorite game or movie genre? I like story games. A lot of like single player narrative driven games are pretty right up my alley. Actually, speaking of PlayStation, or speaking of games, PlayStation just announced that they are decontinuing their physical copies. So I actually, not 2 days ago or 3 days ago, I bought myself the Ezio collection. I know it has nothing to do with the game, but I was like, I haven't played Assassin's Creed 2 in a long time, and that was like a game from my childhood. So I was like, you know what? I'll buy it. I've never played it before. I've always wanted to play it. And since PlayStation just announced that they're discontinuing physical copies, I might just go grab it. I'm just gonna play it. Keep having to prove I'm not a bot. Oh, that's unfortunate. I feel like investigation psychological horror games. Oh, yeah, I'm not much of a horror guy, but maybe I'll check it out. I don't think it has any jump scares. Oh, okay. Any monthly art submissions for the stream? Actually, you know what? Speaking of art submissions, maybe this is the good time to jump into our proper stream. So hello everybody, welcome to our live stream. I hope you guys are all doing great and having a good weekend so far. Hopefully wherever you are, it's not too hot if it's summer for you over there. But yeah, welcome to our Wing Canvas live stream. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. My name is Josh, and I'm the host for our live streams here at Wing Canvas. Me and Faye are the two alternating for live streams, but Faye, I think, is a little busy or preoccupied for the next few streams, so you're gonna have basically double dosage of Josh. I don't know if that sounds a little weird, but you are getting non-stop back-to-back features of Josh's, basically. So this week, then Monday, and then the next Saturday, and then the next Monday is all gonna be me, I believe. I'll double check on the schedule, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm streaming non-stop from this point on. Yeah, the Josh July is upon us. But yeah, welcome to our Wing Canvas live stream. And if you've never heard of us before, we are an online school of education where we make YouTube videos as well as run an online school where you can level up and learn a lot of the art fundamentals and get live feedback. So if you'd like personalized feedback on your artwork or portfolio guidances, that is exactly what we do in our mentorship and VIP programs, which you can find more information on our website. And we also stream twice a week to help you improve and learn art fundamentals. But if you want that accountability aspect of it and the personalized feedback and career guidance, you can become a member where you can get a little bit more of a focused and intentional assistance on your art career. And if you enjoy the stream, definitely like and subscribe. It helps us out a lot, and you'll also be notified of when we go live. And if you would like to support us even further, we also have Patreon, where a few dollars will get you a lot of perks, such as monthly class live recordings and emotes and badges, as well as members only chat and critique. And if you want to follow us, you can check us out on Instagram and Discord. Discord is probably the best place to keep tabs on our announcements, our updates, our class offerings. And if you didn't know, summer has officially started for us in terms of our classes, and our intensives just kind of went by. Our first week of intensives, and Faye has been running the figure drawing intensives this past week, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm going to be running the character design intensive in 2 weeks, so starting on July 20th will be the start of our character design intensives, and it's never too late to sign up. So if that sounds interesting and you want to kind of improve and level up your character designing skills, check out our intensives on our website. And yeah, so I guess we'll start with our art submissions. So if you guys don't know, every month we have an art challenge section, and this month's, let me just bring it up, this month's is mastering mood. So for the entirety of the month of July, you guys can submit anything that has to do with mood. So think about like colors and lighting and just creating a really cool atmosphere. And on every stream, we like to give kind of in a way give back to our community, give them a little bit of shout out, give them a little bit of love, and kind of showcase their pieces. So the first one that we have is, let me just bring it up, is none other than Trix. I feel like Trix has been submitting a lot, and yeah, I wanted to give another shout out to Trix. This is one from their pieces, and as always, if you want to check this out further and see more of like the details and any kind of like description that people have when they submit their pieces, then you can check it out on our Discord. But yeah, this is by Trix. Really love the shadow here and how it kind of just like, I don't know, casts the shadow over the cat or this kind of creature over here. Really, really cool. Wait, Cult of the Hermits, are you Trix this whole time? Maybe I completely forgot if that is you, but that is awesome. I never knew that you are Trix. But yeah, thanks for submitting. You keep submitting like so many things, so I feel like every week you get a shout out because you keep submitting stuff. So yeah, keep going. You're always like pumping out like amazing stuff. The next one here is by, I do not know how to say this person's name, but as you can see on the bottom of the screen, that's their name. They said that they're like, oh, it didn't kind of go too hard on like the colors or the lighting too much, but I actually really like this. The framing is very cinematic, the cast shadow and just like a little bit of the rim lighting on the edge of the person's face, I think works really, really well. So even though you don't have that heavy atmosphere around the character or any like crazy saturated light, I think this still technically fits the theme and the challenge. So really good job here. Not gonna try to pronounce that name, but good job. And then finally, because we didn't get that many submissions so far since the last time, Trix, you get another shout out. Your DJ piece here is like really, really cool. Really love the colors. This like blue and neon is like just awesome. Love also the helmet design too. Actually, this forced perspective here looks like really, really cool. I love how this is just like enormous and round, but then like it's the way it tapers and pushes back looks awesome. So yeah, really good job here. Thanks for always submitting. And so if you want to be a part of the art challenges, well, guess what? We're only halfway through July, so there's plenty of time if you want to participate in the art challenge. So again, remember, art challenges last for the whole month. You can submit something that you worked on previously that you think matches it, or hopefully this gives you an incentive to make something new and kind of participate in these free art challenges. As long as you join our Discord, you can submit your pieces, and as long as they're appropriate and they match the theme, we'll share it on our live streams. So yeah, thank you everybody, and thank you to our community for submitting. Thank you Trix, and thank you to, I'm just gonna say Isis, for submitting. And yeah, really great stuff here. Okay, now on to the main event. Oh, where do you post them? That's a good question. You can post them here. Let me screenshot it on our Discord, on the public Discord. There is a channel on the sidebar called Art Challenges, like over here. So under Community Creates, if you scroll through the channels under the Community Creates, there's an Art Challenge tab. And if you click it, you'll see that there's a thread called Mastering Mood, and you can submit anything there. So it works. That's all you have to do. Just submit it. You can give a little bit of an explanation or description for your piece. You don't have to, though. And yeah, if there's not too many submissions, basically we kind of share everything that's there. So, you know, so if there's not too many pieces, you'll probably get a little shout out. And yeah. Okay, so today's topic is mech design, mech character design. And this is a two-parter live stream. So today we're only focusing on the design and mostly the line work. And then next week we're going to finish up with the cleaning up the lines and finishing the colors. And yeah, hopefully we'll have a really cool mech design. And you guys voted for Speedster here. So I put out a few options. And it seems like you guys want more of like the Speedster style and look for our characters. So that's what we're going to go with. I might still maybe add a little bit of like elements from the other, I don't know, the other vehicle types and see what we come up with. But if you guys didn't know, 2 days or 1 day before the stream, we put out a poll asking our community what they would like for us to kind of guide the stream into. So you guys wanted Speedster, so that's the direction we're going to go into. But if you want to kind of if you want to participate and you missed out this time, keep an eye on our community live posts. Keep an eye on our Discord live stream channel because we always post it asking you guys to participate. So if you guys want to keep tabs on it, follow us on Discord and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. I love mecha, but I struggle so much. Yeah, so we're going to kind of go over how I would start a mecha. So personally, I don't really draw mecha too much either, so I'm going to try to approach it actually similar to how I would design a human character. And then I'm going to kind of explain and walk through what are some things that I tend to include or think about when it comes to kind of mecha style of a design. But yeah, do you think I should try Clip Studio Paint? Yeah, I mean, you know, I would say any software to get you drawing is a great one to start out with. If you're new, completely new to digital drawing, I would recommend maybe trying out a free one first, just to see how it feels and if you like it. Because Clip Studio, you do have to pay for it, but there are a lot of painting softwares out there that are free, just like the one that's on my screen right now. This is Krita, and Krita is completely free if you download it off their website. You can pay for it on Steam, but you can get a free version off their website. And it's open source, so usually that's a good thing. They're kind of like open to seeing how they make their program. Hopefully we don't just make RC from Transformers Prime. We'll see where it goes. You guys can give me some suggestions on what direction to go into. Let me see. Just catching up on chat real quick. Let me see. Yeah, you guys have been doing pretty good. I've actually... Oh, that's interesting. It seems like chat changed your text to "I've been crying," but then if I hover over it, it says "I've actually." That's funny. Yeah, the autocorrect on stream chat's kind of interesting. This is a perfect stream topic for me. I have some mechs I need to design in the near future. Hey, nice. Well, hopefully this can help you out. I've always just said it as Krita. You know, I don't know either. Maybe it's Krita, whatever it is like this. Oh, whoa, Isis is here. Hey, nice. Never really explored this side of art like mech design so much. I didn't even realize you were in the chat. I gave your art a little shout out on in the art challenge section, but I think you missed it. I don't know if you're here yet, but yeah. Okay, so to give a little bit of introduction to mech design, if you guys don't know what mech design is, these are some examples of some. So here, these are from a series called Evangelion. I would recommend maybe Evangelion is a little bit of a maybe I wouldn't start with Evangelion if you've never dived into mecha before. It's a little bit of a strange one. Starts out kind of normal and then gets just absolutely bonkers. The art's amazing, but the story is it's interesting. That's all I'll say. It's a weird one. And you might be like, how weird can it get? Well, it gets pretty weird. And then here, I feel like this is where most people probably get started with Mech, and that is Gundam. I don't know where these are. I think these are maybe just like some fan designs. This one kind of reminds me of maybe Pacific Rim, but like Pacific Rim is another example of Mech design. But I feel like when most people think of Mech, most people think of Gundams, because I feel like Gundam's been there since the beginning. It's been there for a really long time, and they like keep pumping out new shows and new movies, and they like re-release old ones. Like I remember, what was that? I think last year they re-released Gundam Seed Destiny in like theaters or something. They did some kind of Gundam Seed / Destiny movie run. But funny enough, actually, my first introduction into Mech was actually Eureka 7. So I actually have more of a nostalgia and love for Eureka 7 more than I do Gundam. And then after Gundam, it was Code Geass. So shout out to anyone who's ever watched Eureka 7 and Code Geass. I feel like those are like sleeper hits. No one really knows about them too much, especially if you didn't grow up in the era of Eureka 7 and Gundam, or not Gundam, Code Geass. But Gundam, I feel like, is also a good way to get into it. So if you're itching to get into Mech and want to watch some mecha ones, I feel like Gundam Double O is a good one to ease into. I'm not an expert on Gundam, but I feel like if you're like, you don't know which one to start with, I feel like Gundam Double O is a good one to jump into. Yes, the characters are really annoying in Gundam Seed Destiny. That's why I'm kind of like, maybe don't start with Gundam Seed Destiny, because they're a little annoying. But Gundam Double O, I think that one's pretty good. So maybe I'll write it here in chat. Gundam Double O, in case you're like, wait, what's a Double O? But yeah. Or yeah, Gundam Mobile Suit Gundam Wing. You know, that's not too bad either. The classic. The one here, oh, I forgot what this was called. What is this, like Witch? Something Witch or something? If somebody knows the name of this one here, let me know. But yeah. How weird can it get? Our famous they really are famous last words for Evangelion. The art is amazing. I love the art for Evangelion, but yeah, the story was weird. My friend was like, "Oh, I think you'll like Evangelion, you know, like it's kind of weird," and I had to watch like a video afterwards to explain it, and I'm like, how bad can it be? And then I'm like 20 episodes in, I'm like, hey, you said that this gets weird. It's still kind of like fine. It's still kind of normal. And then, oh boy, it hits you over the head with how weird it is. And I feel like weird is an understatement for about it too. Okay, so how am I going to start out? Now, with all that said, with mechs, how are we going to start out with designing it? So we have a few things. Going to tackle this like I do all my other streams. We're going to write out what are some things that we need, what are kind of like the checklist things, and then we're going to slowly design and curate our character. And this is great too. This is a two-parter, so got some time for you guys to suggest stuff, to add stuff, let me know how you might want me to change it or adjust stuff. It's going to be a fun one. So the first thing is we're going to treat this, or I'm going to treat this like how I do human designs. So I'm going to say that this is going to be kind of like my reminder, is my mantra for this entire topic. Treat it like a human design, like a human character design. And maybe this might be helpful for you too, because I think when we look at mech designs, we get caught up in all the details and all the nuances and the noise and the perspective. But I think what really helps is to not think about all that machinery, but to think of it as a human, or like creature design. So if you're great at doing anthropomorphic character designs or character designs like human designs, I think both are kind of translatable. So I'm going to treat it like human. Now, what do I mean when I say treat it like a human design? Well, what I mean is kind of, well, one, they're bipedal. And I'm gonna rely on anatomical shapes. Anatomical. Whoops. And let me get the eraser. Anatomical shapes. Oh, and by the way, if you want these notes afterwards, definitely check out our Discord. I will be posting these notes afterwards. The demo does get shared on Instagram, but the notes themselves, if you want the notes specifically, and the reference images, those get posted on Discord afterwards. Yeah, so anatomical shapes. And, yep. And then the next thing I usually like to do is, like, I'm going to really exaggerate. I feel like what stands out to me for mech designs, stand out shapes. I don't know if you could hear that, but my laundry is done. So standout shapes here are, I feel like when it comes to mech, it's always like the torso and the limbs. So it's the torso is usually like really big and exaggerated. So I think it's usually pretty large, pretty big, and barrel-y. So barrel shaped. So if you don't know what barrel shaped is, it's when the torso is like really round and large, especially like chest stream, like the rib cage area. And then it can also be like exaggerated. So if you look at like Evangelion, the rib cage, the chest area is quite large, and then it kind of elongates and gets long around the torso, around like the waist area. So it's quite exaggerated. And if this is your first time here and you're like, well, Josh, why are you writing all these things down? I find writing down your thoughts and writing down kind of your observations is a really good way of realizing and putting on paper how you might actually approach the drawing. So that's why I like to personally write. I find that helps a lot. Give them an aerodynamic head along the long-tailed arrow. But ooh, I like that. I like the ideas already kind of coming in, like a xenomorph. I like that. Yeah, so these are going to be kind of some like descriptors that I'm going to be using. And I like to kind of say this, especially with AI, but we're going to take the word prompts back. But these prompts here are going to kind of help guide the design and the decision of our drawing. We're going to take back the word prompts. Prompts is no longer for AI, it's for designing art. Let me see, what else do I want to kind of keep in mind? So I'm not going to consider the machinery, I'm not going to consider the perspective just yet. I want to just figure out the design and the flow and the direction that I want to go into. Yeah, and then, okay, so our topic though, our theme, so maybe let's use some red here. Our theme is speedster. So I like that what is it, venomized toothless. You already kind of threw some stuff out there. So the aerodynamic head, I like that. Aerodynamic head, I like those long-tailed aero bikes. Yeah, let me write that down. Long-tailed bikes. I think I know what you're saying, so I'm gonna include that in the design. Could you add some damage to it? Ooh, battle damage? Sure, yeah, we can add some battle damage. Battle damage. I think that would be really cool. Oh, right, forgot to write the theme. Theme, speed. Speed. Okay, and then, let me see. I feel like, because it's a speedster, we gotta give it, like, long limbs. I think that would be really cool. Long limbs. I feel like wheels for the feet. I know. It's like, oh, how are you gonna make it like a speedster? I feel like, you know, the feet, it's gonna play a part in it. So we have to do something. Wheels on the feet. Wheels for feet. Wheels on feet. Question mark. Something like that. Okay, and then we gotta give it like a cool running pose, right? So I was thinking like maybe like the Flash as slightly of an inspiration. So maybe like Flash. Well, I like that's Miro, you said cheetah. I like that. Let's say cheetah. Maybe we can use the legs for the cheetah. The legs. Let me see. Maybe an older mech, every time it pumps its engine on, brings closer. Wow, oh my gosh, that's kind of sad. Oh, you know what though? Glass cannon. I kind of like that. I feel like that's an awesome descriptor. Glass cannon. I feel like we could do something with that. Has inspo for the running. Oh yeah, like was it propulsion around the legs maybe? So we could write that. Let's see, propulsion on legs. Propulsion. I don't know if this is how you spell propulsion, by the way, but propulsion on legs. I'll be like MHA. And jet power backpack, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Sure. Link of backpack. Backpack jet. Isn't this more of a Zord? I don't know. Well, we'll kind of find out. We'll see what happens. Okay, I feel like this is like some pretty cool descriptors. We got some good things going on here. Maybe I might just change this a little bit. Move it over. So we got some space on the side. Probably still gonna end up like lengthening the size of this canvas. Okay, so we got some good shapes here, and you know what, I think what would help is if I found some examples of like maybe like speed skaters. I feel like that'd be a good one. Let's see, speed skaters, speed ice skaters. I'm using Instagram, by the way. Ooh, wait, this is a cool pose. Okay, don't worry. I'll show you guys soon. Don't worry. But I love it when they kind of glide on the ground. I feel like that's really cool. Okay, got here. That's a cool pose. Ooh, you know what? Okay, this has nothing to do with skating, but this is kind of a cool pose. I feel like if we added wheels to this, it would look pretty sick. So this is our inspo board right now. I just realized, why did they put the text on her butt? It's like, you'll see what I mean. I was like, why is it only located around the waist area? That's kind of interesting. Let me see what else. Oh yeah, here's another one. This is pretty cool. Yeah, we are definitely gonna have to make our canvas longer. Okay, I really kind of like this outfit here. This is kind of a cool outfit. I hope this is real. I feel like there's a lot of Asian kind of model images that I've been finding, and I don't know if they're real or not. As in, like, I don't know if it's a legitimate uniform. So, to help balance out with that, I'm gonna use this one, because this looks like it's a real uniform. So this would be a good reference point for how to design our character. The reason why I'm using this is because I think it will give us a good kind of just reference point on the colors and maybe some like shape design. I think it'll be pretty cool. It'll work out pretty well, I think. I'm trying to find like maybe Formula 1 racers and kind of their outfit. Here, let me just F1 uniform. Honestly, the Marlboro Ferrari uniform is pretty sick. I feel like that's pretty cool looking. And the collar, you know, I feel like with the collar, it's always like pretty cool. Okay, I think this is like a good amount of images. I'm gonna like resize them so they're not too big. What's the rough? Yes, we're about to tackle the rough. So far we haven't actually done any drawing yet. This is everything that I do personally to help prepare for the actual drawing itself. So kind of maybe I'll walk through what is the thought process so far, Might actually maybe even shrink this down a little bit. Give me a sec. And then I'll go over the thought process. I'm just gonna shrink this down a little bit more. Move it over. So we have a little bit more drawing space. Because we don't need these to be superimposing anymore. And then we have this. Gonna move it over here, and then we have our references over here. Ooh. Nice. Okay. And let's put here ref 2. I'm gonna write that down too, so you guys can see it. References. So, if you are new here and you're like, wait, Josh, what are you doing? Like, you haven't done any drawing yet. I thought this was a drawing stream. Well, here's the thing. When you come up with an original character, or when you want to give yourself a good foundation when coming up with characters, it's a really good idea to make sure you do as much research and preparation before the actual drawing itself. There's actually a really great show out there called Ink Master. I don't know if anybody's ever watched Ink Master before, but if you love tattooing or you just like reality competition TV shows like Master Chef, Ink Master is actually a tattooing version, kind of done in a similar style as Master Chef. And if you ever watch the show, you'll notice that the tattoo artists, they never just jump right into the challenge. They always are doing research, they're finding reference images, and they're doing drafts and roughs. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. I'm giving myself and preparing myself as much as possible before I actually commit to the drawing. So here I have my inspiration on the side, on the furthest left. This is to kind of give me an idea as to what are some, I guess, some standard images and standard design languages and shapes that are used in mech design. Like the cracks, the weather damage, the plating that's used there, the shapes. It all helps to inform me the direction to head into. Then we do a little bit of planning and direction, like this written out part here, so that I know what direction again to head into and what are some good things to include in the design. So when all you guys were giving me suggestions, I was writing all that down because brainstorming is just as much of a good idea to have as the actual drawing. So yeah, just like Joe Rohde is saying, a good plan takes time. So having all this is going to give us a good foundation to build our reference off of, and that we don't just kind of conjure something from nothing. And then we have our references here. And references are great because it means that we don't have to make it up from scratch. Here I have some like poses as our reference. So I don't know, you guys can maybe vote which one you'd like for me to use. Here I'll write down some numbers so that if you guys have one in particular that you want for me to use, you can call off the numbers or shout out the numbers, so then I know which direction you want me to head into. But I really like these action poses in general, and we will probably use these poses to help draw and map out the actual pose for our character. And because we have the reference image here, I don't have to make it up from scratch. I don't have to second guess where the arm would be. I don't have to second guess the where the legs are, the proportions. It's all mapped out for me. And I'll also show you guys how I take a reference image and extract from it, so that this way you can kind of use any reference image and still make it look kind of close to the reference image, but build on top of it. And then over here, these three images are more for the color and the design of the suit itself. So because I don't, I'm not in racing, I don't have a racing uniform on, I don't know what are some shapes and the structure of those suits. So seeing it in actual reference helps to give me an idea of like, how can I still make it look like a racing related type of character design in the colors and in the shape design elements that are there. So having all of this is so that when I get to the actual ideation phase and the actual designing phase, it's not all kind of made up, it's not all just arbitrary, but it's actually all based on something. And so I always recommend having some level of preparation is good because it gets you down a path so that you are at your most prepared. So I'm just gonna save this so we don't crash it. Close to the ground to lower center of gravity for better stability. Yeah, I really like how low they get for figure skaters, so I feel like I want to include that part. Oh yeah, it was here. Love Eureka 7 Code Geass, also Ekaflone. Oh, I've never heard of Ekaflone, but nice to see there's another fellow Eureka 7 and Code Geass enjoyer out there. What about hover boots like Shadow from Sonic? Oh, that's kind of neat. I don't know. I feel like that'd be a bit hard to pull off, but I like the idea. Go fast, I think. Close to the ground. Do I love tattooing? I don't know. I don't have a tattoo. I've never tried to learn how to tattoo, but I feel like I like the art style. I like the concept of tattooing. Yeah, good plan takes time. Oh, long flowing scarf on the mech that turns into a parachute when it wants to slow. That is an interesting idea. I like the scarf. I don't know about the. I feel like that's more of like an aesthetic thing maybe than a practical thing. I feel like we don't have to force it to be a parachute, but I like the idea though. Like I like the creativity behind that. Like kind of 1 and 2. First pick is cool, like when a character slides in to protect someone. Oh yeah. Requesting 1 for the chance to better understand torso foreshortening. Oh, you know what? That's true. Maybe that's true. We would lose the torso. Might have to readjust it a little bit. Maybe then I'll kind of do a mixture of like 2 and 1 so that I can show the torso, because I don't know if I want to foreshorten the torso because then we might lose a bit of the design. My feed is doing an awful lot of buffering right now. Oh no, wait, is it? My internet seems to be okay, so hopefully I'm hopefully hoping that isn't on my end, but if it's your end, hopefully the internet gets better. I like the color 7 too. Yeah, we might go with 7's pretty cool. I think we should not design a mecha that can't stop. I should have like energy blades or something. Man, they're getting so many so many recommendations. Okay, I think we are at a good point to start. So here I'm gonna make a new layer. I'm gonna call this roughs. Roughs. So roughs, if you don't know, this is kind of for planning. This is doing planning and brainstorming your drawings. Brainstorming with excuse me. Oh, sorry if that scared anyone. Brainstorming with drawing. Usually you keep these small. Keep them small. And keep it rough. Hence the name roughs. Keep them rough. And idea is king. Ideas are king. Okay. Bless you. Thank you. Wait, we're not getting a standing pose? I guess we could maybe do a standing pose and a pose. I guess that would be kind of cool. We'll see. We'll see how much time we get. It could have reverse thrusters on the front, slowing it down. Bless you. I'm shaky. Sorry. Sorry for the sudden sneeze scare for anybody. Okay, so now we're in the designing phase. We can finally get designing. Okay, I think we'll do a normal standard standing pose first, and then next week we can maybe do like a pose. I feel like that would be cool as like the final design. Okay, so I did mention I kind of want like exaggerated torsos, and then I think it was Venomized Toothless, or it was either Joe Road or Venomized. You both were like offering a lot of suggestions and ideas, so sorry if I mix up whoever offered the suggestion, but the aerodynamic head, I do think that that'd be really cool. So Also, I feel like mech designs, they have this kind of like, I always love the Gundam, and almost even in Evangelion, this kind of like face mask look that's there. So I feel like we gotta have that like element to it. So I feel like we could go with this. Kind of like the Optimus Prime face mask. That's kind of there. And here, let's see what kind of, how does the, oh, you know what, I like the guard. I feel like what's kind of cool is like with Gundams, they always have this like guard over here. Am I using a digital pen or a computer mouse? I'm using a tablet. So the tablet that I have right now is the XPPen tablet. They not sponsored by them or anything. Well, we used to be sponsored by them actually, but they're relatively affordable, I would say. Now that we're no longer sponsored by them, I can say that after a few years of using it, the wheel dial is a little bit finicky now. But like overall, it's still pretty solid tablet. And I would recommend that if you do end up buying a tablet, to go buy like a screen protector for your tablet so you don't end up scratching the screen over time. It's like okay, it's like $35. I think they kind of messed up on my order because they gave me like 2 screen protectors instead of 1. I just ordered 1. But yeah, overall relatively pretty cool. I mean, like pretty good quality. Oh, and also don't mind the reviews. There were a lot of people who gave bad reviews for the what is it, for the screen protectors, but I think some people just did not rip off the film that protects the screen protector. And so the film that protects the screen protector, that's kind of funny. But yeah, I feel like some people forgot to rip that off, so they probably drew on the screen film protector rather than the actual screen protector. And so there's a review out there that's like complaining that, oh, the screen protector got scratched instantly after I drew on it. But mine's been holding up pretty good so far, and I press pretty hard sometimes when I'm painting. So I think it's mostly that some people just forgot to rip off the thing. Well, I was also, I'm adding a bit of practicality to it, but I also am going to put in a bit of just like, just as aesthetic flair, even though it might not make sense for the like the practicality of it. Meaning, like, I always feel like with mech designs, there's always that jewel piece that they add, and even though it doesn't make any sense, I feel like it'd be cool to have it. I really like the reverse Star Strides idea. We're gonna go, but isn't dangerous in traffic. Yeah, maybe. Okay. So our guy's probably gonna be thin. I'm just gonna draw profile view for now. And so I said that for the mech design, I would kind of probably use a human anatomy to kind of get the design down. So that's what we're gonna start off with first. I got the head design, kind of just kind of winging it. But the body, I think I'm going to rely a little bit more on planning. Kind of map out an under drawing. So when I'm coming up with ideas, I like to kind of draw a very rough shape first, just to give myself a bit of a template to work off of. And because our character here is, our character here is supposed to be like fast, I feel like it always makes sense if your character is fast that they are like sleek and thin. And you know what I really love about kind of race car drivers' outfits is like the boxy shoulders. The shoulders are always like super like out there, and then they have like that grid pointing back in. So I feel like this would be a good, it's a pretty iconic aspect. And then like the collar is a big part of it, I think. We'll kind of take a little bit of a cue from maybe like Evangelion with the larger kind of chest and then the really long abdomen. I feel like that would be kind of cool. So not much of a shoulder, but I kind of want that triangular shape made from the shoulders and the torso. What is this? Oh, the Marlboro kind of design too. Maybe we can like include that as something. And okay, this is the part where I kind of want to have a little bit of embellishments to it. So I'm just kind of draw the arms. A quick tip for limbs. I like to draw them, one of our students pointed out, like carrots. So I like to draw them as carrots. Because we're drawing somebody really long, I feel like having carrot-like thin arms would be like really useful. And I think having like really long limbs, or not limbs, the fingers, would be good. It would help with the the balancing that they have to do when they get low to the ground, having the fingers. There was a point where I was into longboarding, and man, I loved watching videos when people were like drifting on the highways with the gloves with their longboards. That was always like super cool. How did they do it? Let me see. So it looks like in Evangelion they have this like torso bit here. I feel like having like longer like these hip things would be kind of good for it. Good for the design. And someone mentioned cheetah legs. I feel like cheetah legs would be like a good idea. Do you make different layers in the line art stage or when you start to color? It's more when I color. On the rough stages, I keep it all in one layer. And then as I get further and further in the details, like for the line work, I keep it all as one layer. And then for the colors, that I make into different layers. You know what? Yeah, we'll kind of extend this out. I forgot what I think it was like Beast Machine. In the series Beast Machine, I feel like the cheetah's design has these like the limbs kind of jut out a little bit. So I feel like the hips play a huge part. And then we can have like thin knees. Maybe actually we'll go this way. Let's have it go this way. But I feel like this, if I have the legs like this kind of implies more that they're running, which then I guess we gotta have them on wheels. I guess we can still have them on wheels, yeah. I haven't heard of it in so long. I've been taken back. Accelerate? Is this the name? Are we giving our guy the name X? How'd you call it? XLR8. Accelerate. Maybe like the prosthetic legs athletes use, like it bends a little at the knees with a slight curve. Yeah, I feel like that would be kind of cool too. I think I've designed something similar before, but this is pretty cool. Can you imagine being a human inside of this thing? If it was like running, if it was like a speedster kind of design. Oh, it does it? Oh, I feel like, yeah, I feel like, you know, like it goes. I feel like you can only do so much in when it comes to these shapes. That I feel like you're bound to kind of run into something like similar. Let me see. Oh, like a belt here, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Also, like the shoulders. Maybe we'll have it go up a little bit. Exaggerate the shoulder pads aspect of it. It'd be a lot of G-force. It would be a lot of G-force. Maybe they would do something inside of the cockpit to kind of alleviate that aspect of it. Oh, you know, maybe we gotta go give it a little bit of that iconic Gundam chest plate where the cockpit usually is. It's usually this like centered diamond shape here. We can still, it kind of is harkens back to like the Marlboro triangle design, so I feel like that works out. You can give it like vents. Oh yeah, we gotta give it like vents. There's usually vents around the chest area. Ooh, you know what? I really like the neck design for the neck design for what is it? The Evangelion ones. Maybe I would have it striped. Maybe the stripe would be kind of cool. Okay. I feel like what's missing is the arms. I haven't really done too much with the arms. The knees. I feel like knees, we can't go too big. Oh, you know what's iconic about, I feel like, Mech? Are these things right here. This right here on the mechs, I feel like that's iconic, right? For like the feet. So I think we should add oh, look at that! Eureka has wheels on the feet. Wow, perfect. That's kind of cool. Okay, so we gotta add those. Is it aerodynamic? It doesn't matter, because that's not what we're going for. You know, I think I'm gonna add those like bubble curves for the calves as well. For it. Okay. Stay in like some kind of building control. Oh, that's true. I guess you. Yeah, maybe they would stay inside instead of coming outside and riding, going inside of it. Like, what are some other things? Oh, you know what? Some vents. It'll be like small ones, but I think we can add like a few vents in here, kind of, to shape it. Okay, so right now I'm kind of just drawing it and kind of going with the flow, essentially, but maybe I'll kind of break down what my thought processes are. Let me kind of move this up. A little quick tip: if you want something that looks tall, have the shins or the knee to the feet, that part of the legs be longer. So have this part be like up here. So if your lower part of the legs are longer, like the shin area, if it's longer, it will make your character look taller. So that's what I'm gonna do here. Just gonna move this down, you know, because it's a runner, so we gotta give it like long legs and everything. I feel like it's a little bit too even, so I might maybe make the legs a bit longer. Or maybe make the torso shorter. I guess because we have the longer limbs, it makes sense for the torso to maybe not be as long as the legs, or as long as the limbs. Okay, I think that's much better. the cool, that's all that matters. The legs are the weak spot. Yeah, we're gonna kind of like figure that out a little bit more, but I feel like this looks pretty mech-ish. I think what I kind of want to add here is like maybe we can make this like longer in proportion to like when they run. Again, given a little bit of that nod back to the xenomorph recommendation that someone had. I feel like this feels more xenomorph like. Okay, so I guess the breakdown explanation for kind of like how we got here, because I know that sometimes when I'm drawing I won't be explaining necessarily how we got here, but to kind of go walk through like what I was doing as I was drawing this is using the human anatomy to guide the whole design. So what that means is that the human body, if I were to draw a human character, you would map out the head, you'd map out the torso. This would be like the chest area, then you would have like the rib cage, then the waist, and then you would have like the hip area, and then after that you have the legs, and then the lower legs, and then the feet, and then the shoulders, the arms, the other arm, and then the hands. These kind of follow typical human body proportions. Yes, I'm drawing this really quickly and it's quite rough, but this kind of shows you like the general parts that you're breaking down when you draw a human character. And when I was drawing this one, I was doing the same thing. I kind of broke it down bit by bit using human kind of anatomy to guide it. So we got like the head, the torso, and the chest area more specifically. And then like this is the chest. Then we have like the abdomen and the waist area. Then we have the groin and pelvis area. And then we break down the legs into like the knees and then the feet kind of position. So it sounds very maybe like obvious looking at it now, but in the moment, in the heat of the moment when you're designing something and you're feeling very lost, going back to kind of something that we're more familiar with, whether it's animals or humans, using it to kind of guide the procedure and the process helps a lot to help you make a lot of the decisions. And the detailings, all those things are kind of it's free brainstorming. So as much as we like to kind of maybe cage or contain everything into technical information and knowledge, it's really cool, or it's a really good idea to just kind of go along with the flow. So if you're like, oh, you know, the head should have this, just put it in. Don't worry so much about the proportions or the technicalities or the perspective of it. Think back to when you're kind of like grade in, how old is grade 2? Grade 2 would be like let's say 8 to 10 years old. I don't know if, like when I think back to when I was 8 to 10 or even to like around 11 years old, you would kind of just draw. And I remember in like classes, in our art classes or even in like English class, we would have an opportunity to design a character that would match the story that we were reading. And you would kind of just do it. You would not look at really any references or inspiration, but you kind of would just go with the flow and just create something from scratch. And I feel like as we get older though, and as we know more and we have more knowledge, it's harder to sometimes conjure. So that's why we need references and inspiration. But I think it's always a good idea to call on that sense of just childlike inspiration and imagination to just kind of draw whatever comes to mind. So when I'm designing the details for this character, I'm kind of going like, ooh, you know, what if I just put that there? Or what if, oh, you know, this guy's going to have like really big shoulders, or this guy's going to have like really thin blade-like legs because, yeah, they're fast. Like that kind of childlike imagination. Sometimes we need a little bit of that to kind of guide our drawings and to have a little bit of fun with it. So if you're kind of like, wait, Josh, how did you know where to put the blade? How did you know where to put the lines there for the arms and the shoulder blades, or like these little boot thingies down here? It's like, I kind of just put them there because I'm like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if they had it? That's kind of all that I needed to guide those drawing decisions. It was not guided by perspective or by like or anything technical. It was just simply, wouldn't it be cool to just put that there? And I just put it there. And then at the end, then we kind of gauge and judge, like, okay, what needs to move, what should we change, should we adjust. That's when you can kind of start evaluating and put a bit more of that technical knowledge to refine and hone things. But in the beginning, in the brainstorming part, in the thinking process part, it's good to kind of just go with the flow. Just kind of ask yourself, what would be cool to just put it there and just kind of include it in your character's design. Worry about the judging and the technicalities later, but just kind of just put it there. And I feel like, get the feels. That's a good, good sentiment, basically. If it's cool, that's all that matters. And I feel like, sometimes it's good to go back to that just limitless direction. And yes, gotta have the boots, chasm code. You gotta have the boots. Okay, so this is our first run at the design. I'm gonna make the image a little bit longer or wider. Also, get the feels. I found the candy. I feel like I was talking so much during class, so my throat was my voice was starting to go out a little bit. So I was like, where did I put those cooling voice cooling candies? So I was trying to look for them, but I found them. Okay, so now that we have this, I've been a self-taught artist for ages, so hearing that the wonder/imagination can still be applicable with the technical is inspiring. Yeah, and I feel like sometimes we get a little bit lost in technicalities and we kind of forget why we draw. Sometimes we draw just out of the wonderment and the getting lost in the imagination. Hi, all the way from NYC. Oh, hey, that's cool. NYC. Well, welcome, fellow New York neighbors from the south. We here in Toronto, so I guess you're our southern bordered neighbors. Hello. Glad you're able to join us. We're kind of cleaning up the design now. Let me see. We have still about an hour, so maybe I'll do a quick kind of 3/4 rendering of it. So I'm still gonna rely on things that I would use for maybe the human face. So I'm gonna map out kind of the mannequin head, kind of figure out the jawline and the shape of the head, to figure out the shape and proportions that I kind of want the design to be. So maybe something like this. It's a good head shape to maybe work off of. Let's see. Let's take some notes from Gundam, or even actually Eureka 7. Actually, kind of quite like the way that mask is kind of overlaid on top of the muzzle around the mouth area. So I do like the whole Optimus Prime kind of muzzle shape that's there. I also feel like it just makes sense for a character that's supposed to be fast, that they would have some kind of maybe mouth guard, in a sense. Maybe not a mouth guard, but a kind of a shape that can, or a mask that helps to block the breathing or help with the breathing. Oh, cool. Do you know Calzoon? I feel like that's pretty cool. I feel like it's always awesome when there's viewers who already know each other and everything. This is the first time I'm realizing that the stream chat auto-corrects for you, which is really really kind of funny. Because I'll see your messages and I'm like, what does that even mean? What is that? Like what? And then I hover my mouse over it, and it's Calzoon says hello friendo, but then autocorrect will say it frying. I'm just being friendly self. Oh, that's nice. Well, welcome. Yeah, everybody here is super friendly as well, so glad glad to add to the vibe, the friendly vibes. Maybe I'll bring the image over. Liminal spaces or dream core? I'm okay with it. I mean, it's cool. I think it's the concept is kind of eerie and unsettling, but I guess in a good way. Actually, let me open up. Do I still have? No. Okay. Nice. I was wondering if I still have pure ref, and I do. I'm gonna put this here. Use this as a bit of inspiration. That's a crazy way of spelling, but I like it. Let me see, maybe I just really love the sharp eyes from Gundam. Like that aesthetic I always thought was like really cool. Also, anybody build Gundams here? Do we have any model builders? Actually don't know how the 3/4 looks like. Let me see if I can find some references. Gundam. I hate it now when in like Pinterest they'll show like the sponsored images, but they won't show like so when you click on them they bring you to like Amazon, for example, but not like other stuff, and I'm just like, that's so annoying. This is pretty cool. I like this design. It's kind of neat. Actually, kind of quite like this. It kind of has a bit of like a helmet look to it. That's cool. There's a shop I found that sells model kits, but they're really expensive for my budget. They can be quite expensive. Yeah. The most I've built are Lego aircrafts and the Star Wars ones. Oh man, you know what? I had when I was young, when I was a kid, my grandpa bought me these like Lego sets, but I not threw them out, but I completely threw out the instructions and I mixed up all the pieces, so I can't build them ever again. I wish I kind of kept them pristine, but you know, oh well. You only kind of realize that after you're no longer a kid. That is one way to describe liminal spaces for sure. Yeah. Also, none of these show like a 3/4. I want to see, like, do you see the other side? Like, I'm actually so curious. Is like, do you see ever like the other side of the face? Also, they're so sharp. I kind of quite like that shape. So I'm using kind of like a general face shape design to guide the overall look, but kind of trying to follow and keep an eye on how I designed it originally for my own, and then adding some changes to match the kind of research, I guess, to match kind of what we're discovering here. And I don't know, maybe they don't have this component. And what's funny is, like, I do have a Gundam. I could probably grab one of my Gundams down and use it as a bit of reference. So I don't know, maybe I might do that if I get stuck. I do like this like shape, this like V-shaped visor that they have here. That's kind of cool. I just don't know if you see the other side, but maybe not. Maybe we'll add like a line here. No. Does it go out? Maybe we'll have it go out a little bit. I feel like that looks pretty cool. I feel like it's the other eye. The other side is the part that I'm like not too sure of. Maybe we wouldn't see the other side because it's being covered by this like giant top visor part that's there. Can bash your own machines from those mixed parts. Yeah, you know what? Like Lego is I've never been able to kind of intuitively build. You know, whenever I see like videos or pictures of people who can just like build from nothing, I'm always like, how? That's so cool. How did you just kind of build that from nothing? It's kind of neat. I wish I could do that, but I don't know. It's just never. I feel like I don't have the mind for it. I don't have the ability to just kind of look at pieces and be like, yes, I see the vision. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Maybe people who build Legos a lot, they'll be like, no, it's so easy. It's just like art. You gotta just do it. And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe. I guess that like very true. Since like we were talking about painting today for a class, and one of the things that I was trying to tell the students was like, with painting, you just gotta go with it. Don't worry about the mistakes. I guess like maybe it's the same sentiment with Legos. You just gotta do it. And maybe don't worry about the mistakes. You just gotta draw, not draw it, but you just gotta build something and see what happens. Okay, so I think what will help is to go outside of the rounded human skull shape and kind of build more of this, like, I don't know, cap or covering shield shape here. I guess we're not going to see the other side of the face because it would kind of be blocked by this giant like helmet shape here, which would be essentially our racing helmet. Yeah, so I think we're gonna like change it up a little bit. I kind of like this shape, taking a little bit of inspiration from here. Yeah, maybe we'll change it up. We'll still have the rounded helmet. I think that would be really cool still. Maybe might have to change the size and shape of that helmet, but I like it. Let me see, how would this... I feel like they wouldn't have it here, maybe. I can't just do painting or even art, but I can definitely just do Legos. Really? I feel like the same fear that like some people have when it comes to painting, and I totally get that fear too, because I think everybody has a little bit of that uncertainty feeling when it comes to like painting, of just like, how do you just like paint? And it's like, well, you just kind of do it. But I feel like that same fear, I have that for Legos, where it's like, but what if I waste a piece of the Lego? Or like, what if I, miss a part of like construction? I like mess up on that construction of it. And I feel like that sentiment is what I'm also afraid of when it comes to was it designing Legos or building just Legos from nothing. I feel like that same hesitancy is I get that for Legos, because it's like, what if I miss a piece? Not miss a piece like lose a piece, but it's like, what if I waste a piece, or I put something there that shouldn't be there, or what if I should have used like another piece and it would have been like better suited for that component right there. I feel like that's where I'm like hesitant with like building Legos, but I don't know. Like, Legos are easy, you can be patient and pay attention. I guess, that kind of makes sense. if he has to turn his head. I mean, I guess when he's running, he doesn't really have to move his head too much, hopefully. Yeah, that's true. I guess if you can kind of just build Lego, you think in 3D. You're like very construction. There are instructions for Legos. There are none for painting. I mean, if you're doing like a study, the instructions is the image in front of you. Keep messing with it until it looks right, I believe. Kind of true, yeah. Basically, potato person. You keep messing with it until you come up with something. And hello, Blackbird Games. Hello, hello. I feel like the top. Oh, right, we need the jewel. You know, like the classic Gundam piece at the top is like the jewel. Gotta have the jewel. Also, I don't know if I want to add this like nose piece here. That's kind of cool. That's kind of nifty. That's pretty cool looking. I feel like gotta keep this like smooth here. Oh, you know what? Maybe this is more like here. And over here. I guess this is the technical part about the Gundam drawing. It's like, okay, what would the perspective be for this? Or what would I want the perspective to be for this? Maybe something like that. Okay, we need this like jewel emblem piece at the top. Or do we? Maybe we don't. Maybe, well, I'll put it here anyways. Maybe we'll make it like a circle. I feel like that'll be more in line with the design of this guy. It's like we'll have it be like a circle. Cuz it's like cuz he's a runner. So I feel like having a camera lens like right there I feel like would work. Speed Warrior, a Yu-Gi-Oh card. Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh mention. Got a lot of anime fans. It's scaring me because I'm not an anime fan. Hey, that's okay. You know, you can be any kind of fan is cool. You got the liminal. You're the liminal space fan. Let me see. Oh, we need some vents. I feel like let's add some like vents here. There we go. And then we gotta add this little. There's always these little pockets here in like Gundams, I feel like. So here we got a head design. I feel like that's pretty cool. Some part of me feels like we still need to add these like wings. So maybe we'll. No, I feel like, you know what? That's the unique about this design is like there are no wings. So we'll add everything is like streamlined and sharp. I feel like that's pretty cool. How does the neck kind of position? Here, let's bring in the Evangelion look. Evangelion. The necks are pretty standard, I guess. I will say the mech designs, they are pretty iconic. They are pretty cool looking. Hey. Do you build also Gundam figures? I have build. How many do I have? I have one. I think I have 3. I have 3 Gundams. The biggest one I have is the Master Grade one from Gundam Seed Destiny. But yeah, I haven't built a Gundam in like a really long time, but when I was a kid, building them was fun. Like those smaller ones, like the cheaper ones that you can get. I feel like, you know, being able to build Gundams is always like it's like a good thing, you know. I feel like if you're able to get a chance to ever build Gundams, I think it's a good thing to try out. Because, you know, it kind of teaches you how to. It's kind of like Lego, you know? Lego, I feel like, teaches you how to read instructions, teaches you how to kind of follow things bit by bit, but also think about things three-dimensionally as you're building it out, and seeing the progress kind of unfold in front of you. I always feel like is a really cool thing to kind of experience. Okay, we want this guy to have like a thin neck though, so I'm not gonna expand it as much as it is here, but I do like the shape. I like this kind of collar shape that it has. Actually, you wouldn't believe it, a lot of what I'm noticing here as I'm deconstructing like the drawing here is that it's very anatomical, actually. Like this is very much like the trapezius muscle, the what is it, the like this is like the sternocleidomastoid muscle. Like there's a lot of actual call outs to just like the muscles. But I feel like that might be a bit much for our character, so I don't know. Maybe we'll go back to like the normal design. We'll have it just be kind of rigid. Kind of just going at it, kind of just winging it. I think we do want it to be like very round. Definitely want to bring back that collar shape from like the racers. So if anybody's kind of like new here, we are basing this on like a racing machine, so, or like a race car driver. So I think having this collar would be like pretty good. Also helps to kind of just like separate us from like a Gundam design and a bit more of like a different style and approach. Let's see, the chest plate. Let's see, let's go with, you know what, probably shrink this down a little bit. Oh cool, yep, FNAF. Yeah, different fandoms. Pragmata count. Oh, Pragmata. Have you played it? I've heard some pretty good things about it. It seems like people generally quite like the show so far, or not the show, the game. People seem to like the game. I'm building out a little bit more in detail for what I think we can have for our character. You know, because he's a runner, I feel like we should have the torso be quite springy, quite like long and like thin, so we can have like really large shoulders and everything. And then the what is it, the torso bit here could be quite thin. More skeletal, maybe. Not skeletal, but more like plated. Like here. Maybe something like this. 3 great killer movies are Saturn II, Hardware, and Death Machine. Oh, you know, I've never heard of those. Might check those out. I like movies. Strong neck. Yeah. Sometimes I do movie reviews. I mean, I like sharing my opinions on movies. I think talking about movies is fun. You know, and the discourse on movies. I feel like that's kind of a big part of movie movie culture in a way. But I also get that sometimes discussing about movies is like, oh, it's very, some people just don't like it. I know some people who are just like, just talk about movies, or you just watch a movie and that's kind of it. Like the movie experience starts and ends at the movie theater. Have I seen Obsession? Of course. Of course I've seen Obsession. It's pretty good. I really like Obsession. I feel like I have to not think about it though, or else I kind of scare myself. Believe it or not, I do kind of get a little bit scared from the movie, just because I kind of like think about the scene. If you've seen the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. But there's that room scene where she's in the corner. That always kind of gets me. Um, it gets me thinking about it, and then I'm like, nope, don't want to be thinking about that. Especially when I'm like, I don't know, in my room by myself, or if I'm like in the shower and I think about like something just hiding in the corner. I'm always just like, don't like that. Don't like the notion of someone just like possibly being there and I don't know why they're there. I don't like that. But it was a great movie. I do really like it. What is it about Crazy Day? I'm afraid I haven't seen it yet. What's it about? Yeah, if you guys haven't seen Obsession, and you're looking for a good creepy, I guess, I guess it's a thriller horror film. I'm pretty sure it's still out in theaters since it's like super popular. But yeah, I highly recommend it if you're looking for a good kind of eerie, creepy time. If you're looking for a good scary movie, highly recommend checking it out. All art is an invitation for discourse. That's true. Yeah. It's what's the point of art if not to discuss what we think of it. I love and hate Obsession. Yeah, for sure. It's one of those movies where just like you just don't wanna. If you think too much about it, it's like ooh, get a little eerie, get a little unsettling. I'm gonna put it lower. I feel like this is gonna be a recipe for disaster for when I need to draw the whole thing. So I'm trying to like think, okay, what is a good way to simplify this? Would be a good thing to think of. I'm not gonna draw the whole thing, but I kind of wanted to just map out like, oh, roughly the details for maybe the direction to head into. Ooh, Alien's a good one. Love the Alien. Alien's like a great it's kind of like our family movie. Alien. I feel like I think the premise I you know, I feel like if you know the premise of the movie, it's not too big of a deal. I do think it's one of those movies where the less you know, the better of an experience you have. To just kind of go in and enjoy the ride, enjoy kind of the ups and downs of the movies and the thrill ride. But yeah. I feel like it's kind of hard to spoil Obsession as well, unless you like give out every single nitty gritty. So I feel like it's actually kind of a hard movie to spoil unless you like literally say too much. But I think if you give away the plot, I don't think it's too big of a deal. Although I know that like some people, like myself included, and my sister, when we watch movies, sometimes we like to just not know anything about the movie, at all, and to just kind of go in blind. I'm even getting to a point where sometimes I like to not know what people thought about the movie, just so that it doesn't muddy my expectations of the movie. So like if some people go like, "Oh, the movie was like so good," I'll be like, "Oh, okay," and I feel like it'll give me a bit of an expectation. But then if I don't know whether the movie is good or not, it's kind of more, I don't know, it's kind of more exciting, because then it's like, oh, you know, what is the movie about, and you get to kind of learn and figure it out as you go, which I feel like is kind of my preference for going into movies these days. Unfortunately, all my recs are more K-drama. Oh, really? K-drama? I didn't know K-drama has like psychological mystery. That's pretty cool. I didn't even know that was like a thing for K-drama. Trailers often give too much away. Yeah, what is it? There's that new Dune trailer. I've been like, I kind of want to watch it, but at the same time, like, I don't want to watch it. So I've been a little like not too sure if I want to. Maybe what the plot of Hail Mary is. Yeah, I actually think Hail Mary is one of those where if you go in not knowing anything at all, I think it's a little bit it's much more fun of a ride. Just know it's a sci-fi movie. It's a space movie. But not knowing exactly what it is, I think it's kind of part of the fun. Even after seeing all those like scenes, they're unbelievable. Yeah, I feel like it's one of those where sometimes the spectacle is the enjoyment of the movie. To know a bit of the movie, otherwise I won't watch it. Yeah, I also know that too. I have some friends who they will read the synopsis of the movie and then they'll decide whether or not they want to watch the movie. Like not even like a summary that doesn't spoil anything. They want all the details spoiled so they know how the movie starts and ends, so then they can decide whether or not to watch it. Oh yeah, actually that goes for Wildwood. I have not looked at anything from Wildwood just because I don't want to get spoiled on like what's in the movie at all. So I haven't seen anything from Wildwood. So I would like no spoilers for Wildwood, for even though the movie's not out, but I've like kept away from Wildwood. Okay, so going back to the drawing, the good little kind of side tangent. Here is the design so far. I think we've kind of are nailing in and honing in a bit closer for the direction for where to take this. I quite like the new head design that I have here. I like that it's a little bit rounder, but then a little bit pointy on the side. So this one is a little bit, you know, it's a bit more implied. Here we kind of cleaned up the look of the character a little bit more. I think I shrunk the torso, maybe, or like the waist area just like a little bit, so that, you know, it's I think I would make it a little bit longer, but I think I shrunk it a little bit just for the drawing aspect of it. So maybe I'll just lower this a little bit more. I feel like that looks a little bit nicer. But yeah, here we go. Here's a bit better. I feel like proportion wise that's a bit better. shade these in so kind of you see the gaps, the plating in it. Actually, maybe this will be a good way to segment into what I think stands out about mech design. I like knowing the end sometimes just in case it's a sad one so I can prepare myself. Oh, yeah, you know what? That's a good... I feel like that's a good reason. Can I post my own sketches of the same prompt to Discord? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you can feel free to post it. I'm always a little bit unsure as to like where you can share it, but in terms of like so that I can see it too, because I know for members you guys can post it into members chat or members critique and we could take a look at it, but for the public Discord I always forget where exactly we recommend sharing. I should probably take a look at that. Look at that. Maybe like digital art. Maybe I guess you could throw it into digital art and then I feel like we could take a look at it there. Like in the art gallery section, maybe. I feel like that would be a good place. Like if you let me know if that's where you put it, I could take a look at it. Oh, you've been drawing the prompt too? Hey, nice. Yeah, if you guys ever are working on this, I guess you can post it into digital art under art gallery. And feel free to share it. Would love to see what you guys are working on. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like if I'm a little bit on the fence about a movie, I wouldn't mind watching the review. Yeah. Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to try to do a... We have like 20-ish, less than 20 minutes left. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to make this a little bit longer. Just a little bit. And this is where I'm going to do the cleanup version. Now, I do want to actually simplify it. Oh, and before I actually draw the character, I think I want to go over like what I think makes up like a mech or makes something feel like mech. And it might seem very obvious when you look at it, but it's the plating. So how you decide to go about the plating, I think that's completely up to you on how you want to make it feel like mech design. But I feel like robots and mechs, they borrow a lot from like armor, like medieval armor, like that plating and layering of it. And it's all these like different gaps. So you'll notice that there's never a smooth part for the like armor. So for example here, you'll notice that it's never just like a smooth torso. So if I were to draw a human torso, it would look maybe something like this. And then maybe like this is the neck and the shoulder and everything's like here. But when we draw the human body, the body is more curved and it's more smooth. But with a mech design, mechs are a lot more mechanical. So there's a lot more straight edges to it. There's a lot more plating. And I think what makes something feel like mech is by taking something like, let's say, even like a human torso like this, and just kind of breaking it into very clean parts and components. So even by doing something like this, it can already make it feel like mech design. And you can even like kind of add these gaps here, and then maybe in the torso there's this giant, maybe like, I don't know, diamond shape right in the middle that allows for you to add these gaps inside of the body. And then voila, you have a plating that's already happening. So for me, what I kind of feel makes up for like the mech design, the aesthetic of it, is kind of these different components and plating. And depending on how you want the design to be, how you want the look of the design to be, how you decide to shape it and form it, it is ultimately really down to you. But you can kind of already see by doing this on my end, if I draw something like this, by segmenting it, by giving different plating, breaking away from the rounded shapes and using more angular forms, it makes it feel like that mech design. I think the final last thing that really makes it feel like mech is kind of what someone brought up, which is like weather damaging. So having, I think, a little bit of some like weathering and like damaging to it, like scratches or kind of marks or these little kind of little dots and dashes on the armor makes it feel like it's been scratched up, that it's been beat up. And sometimes I like to add these little, you'll notice that a lot on like Gundams and Evangelion, there's these kind of vent holes or pockets. Let me bring up maybe like pure reference here. I think the quality for the other ones are a bit easier to see it in. It's like things like this, or even like right here. It seems really minimal, but these like weird random shapes, I feel like do really help to make it feel like it's armor or it's some kind of mechanical plating that's there. So whenever I'm drawing something, I'll add maybe like a little blip over here, and and then not only that, but I'll add like a blip and I'll add like a plating around it, so it almost looks like it's sitting inside of the armor. So if this was kind of like a red ball, like a reflection ball, and then there's like this is like the armor plating that's kind of around it. This here, this curve, is to kind of represent how it's sitting inside of the armor plating. So I feel like that to me is kind of what really makes it feel like mech design, or makes mech designs feel like mech. And then you can add like little triangle bits here, something that just feels very like factory like or machine like, that we see on like tractors or kind of excavators. I think that's kind of what really helps to make it feel like it's a mech look. Okay, so I think for this one, with the remaining time, we'll just draw my character. This one will be maybe the more refined one. I think what I'll do is I'll take the head, because I actually think the head turned out really good on this one. We'll just take the head angle there and move it here, and we'll just use this to guide the shape of the design, or guide the shape of the head. So kind of make this light, very translucent, and then this one kind of put this one here. I'm gonna draw the body based on this here. Might have to make the head maybe a little bit bigger. Also, I'm gonna draw it in like 3/4. So his head is turned, but then I think I want the body to be maybe like this way. So I'm gonna construct it just like I would like a human body. And I'm gonna mark like the torso shape for it. So I'm marking it like the human body just so that I can like map out the shape and the form of it, and then I'm gonna expand with the plating. But I think this is gonna be a bit too complicated, so I'm actually gonna try to simplify his forms and shape a little bit. I might even round out the shapes of it so to cartoony, to make it more cartoonier, so it's easier, a little bit easier to draw. I think it'll be cool to also draw a more simplified mech shape. And I like these three kind of pieces. Like we have a piece here for like the chest, and then we have a piece here for like the upper torso, and then the mid torso, and then the pelvis. Maybe I'll make the knees really big. I feel like we're missing a little bit of like a small shape. Yeah. Just share my work in progress in digital art folder thing on Discord. Ooh, nice. That's awesome. Yeah, I can take a look at it. Love to see what you got working on. Or going on. Oh, you posted yours in traditional art. Oh, okay, sure. I'll take a look at both. It's the furthest of any of my attempts I've gotten. And yeah, let's take a look. Ooh, Miro, I like your shapes here. The really like the rounded form. That looks really cool. Okay, and then traditional art. Let me take a look. I'm assuming you are the scarab tuner. Ooh, I like these as well. This is really cool. I like it. It's almost more like bug-like. I feel like for yours, Venomized. It's it has a bit more of like a scarab or like a insect kind of like feel and look to it. It's really cool. I'm kind of trying to figure out like where to put the hands. I don't think I'm gonna do anything too much with the elbows other than just like maybe something that kind of like sticks out. I do really like that aesthetic of like something like the elbows being a little bit pointy and sticking out a bit. Let me see the thumb. Let's have the thumb like be a little bit closer. Maybe this one, it'll be more this way. See, how did you know, I actually kind of like the wingtip. Wingtip's kind of cool. Very was it Hermes? Hermes like. Okay, someone did say like jet engine. Let me see. Jet engine. I don't know, would we have space for it? I guess we could add a little bit here. It's like propulsion boosters in the back. I feel like that would help a lot. Or could be cool. When you add images to challenges, can you add one image or can you add more than one? I believe you could probably, I think you can add more than one because Tricks, for example, adds like multiple images at the same time. So yeah, pretty sure you can add more than one page, one image. I'm gonna add the wheel here. It's probably gonna be rough. Like I said, we'll probably stick to uh we'll probably add or do the cleanup for next time, but yeah. Oh, can I add the boosters to the legs? Yeah, we can add kind of similar to like what is it, My Hero Academia, the running guy, how he has like boosters on the legs. I feel like, I don't know, when I saw those the first time I watched the show, I was like, that's a little bit kind of weird looking, but you know, for like, but I think it's because he's human, and to like kind of like think of like someone with like mechanical vents in like flesh or like in someone's legs. I don't know, it's a little like, it's kind of unsettling. So I was like, when I first saw that, I was like, ooh. I had a little bit, I was like, ooh, that's kind of weird. It's a little bit bizarre looking, but you know. Okay, these ones more on the side. This one's more like front facing. I think we can have. Let me see. This one would be like here, maybe. Trying to figure out where to position the leg. Kind of like the Adidas logo, I just realized. The leg has a bit of this Adidas logo aesthetic going on. More speed. Yeah. The tape elbow guide too. Does it come from like? Does it come from his elbows? Oh, I didn't even realize that. Okay, I think maybe I'll call it here for coming up with the rough design. Here's how it's looking so far. Kind of cleaned it up a little bit so we have like almost kind of like a blueprint. I feel like this gives me a bit of like a blueprint aesthetic to it, which I kind of like. I think it's kind of cool. It's like those rough drafts that you see for like robots before you see like the final thing. But here it is. This is a little bit of how everything is looking so far. Here, I'm gonna like just change the screen size a little bit, but just to kind of like recap where we're at and how we came here. We are doing a mech design and we're kind of going for like a speedster look. So got a little bit of some reference images of like Evangelion, from Gundam, from Eureka 7. Then we kind of like listed out what are some like visual traits that we want maybe for this design. So we kind of listed it and wrote it all down here. Then I went on Pinterest and found some references of people like running for next week's live, or not next week, yeah, next week's live stream, where I'll be cleaning up the drawing here, but then also maybe if we have time, we can draw some like action poses for our speedster. And then we kind of started working on some roughs for how this guy is going to look. So we got like the planning of it, just like the rough silhouette. Then kind of did a bit more of like a close-up to figure out roughly the details for it. And then now it's like, oh, you know what, maybe it's a little bit too detailed, so we kind of slimmed down, or not slimmed down, but like streamline some of the shapes and focus more on like the big parts that work the best. So yeah, this is kind of the progress and the process that we have so far. Maybe I'll just kind of leave it here as I read off the closing statements. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's stream. I had a lot of fun designing this, and also had a lot of fun kind of chatting with you guys as you guys talked about about art, about movies, about anime, or about like mecha in general. But yeah, this is just the first part, so hopefully I'll catch you on the second one as well. So if you guys didn't know, the second part is going to be July 18th, so that's just next week. But I'm actually going to be also streaming on Monday because Faye is kind of a little bit unavailable at the moment, so that's why we're having like just a double feature of Josh. So I'm going to be streaming on the 13th, Monday at 12 p.m. And we're going to be going over cell shading versus soft shading. So that one's going to be a fun one. I love doing cell shading, and soft shading is going to be kind of neat to see what we're going to do there. So if you guys want to have a little bit of a say as to what we're going to be doing, definitely keep an eye on the post for the polls to kind of vote for what we're going to be doing. And then on Saturday, July 18th, we're going to be finishing up our mech design. So we're going to be rendering it and cleaning up the drawing for the next part. And then if we have time, we'll do maybe like a really quick action pose to it. And I'll show you guys how I would do it if we have time. But yeah, thank you all for joining us. I'll just read kind of like the final quick closing statements, and that'll be it for today's stream. So if this is your first time joining us, welcome. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. If you just joined us, no worries. The VOD will go up later on once the stream ends. And if this is your first time hearing about us, we are Wing Canvas, and welcome to our stream. But we're more than just a YouTube channel. We're also an online school of education. And so if you're like, oh, well, what do you guys do? Well, if you like personalized feedback on your artwork, and if you want any kind of help for your portfolio, that is exactly what we provide and help students out with in our mentorship and our VIP program. So if you're kind of curious and want to learn more about it, check us out on our website. And we also stream twice a week to help you learn art fundamentals just like this, kind of walking through our kind of process, our procedures, and kind of what's behind the scenes when we're coming up with ideas. But if you also want accountability, personalized feedback, and career guidance, that's where becoming a member comes into play. And if you enjoyed the stream and you want to support us, you can like the stream and subscribe, as well as ring that notification bell so you know when we stream next and you know what the topics are, as well as participating in those voting polls. But if you want to support us further, you can also support us on Patreon, where supporting us grants you access to monthly live class recordings, emotes, and badges, as well as like other perks such as being able to chat with us on the members only chat and critique. And if you want to follow us further, join us on Discord and Instagram, where you'll be able to find these notes. These notes will be going up later on onto Discord, and then these drawings are also posted onto Instagram afterwards. But Discord is the best place to check us out on and keep up to tabs with the updates and announcements that we have. So yeah, that's kind of it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's stream. I had a lot of fun going over this with you guys, and I can't wait to see you all on the next week's stream. So yeah, bye-bye, everybody. Hope you guys have a good rest of the weekend, and I will see you hopefully maybe on Monday, or if not on Monday, next Saturday. Bye-bye. Oh, and also if it's hot for you guys, wherever you guys are, stay cool, stay hydrated. Bye-bye.